So now that Ciryl Gane has defeated Derek Lewis and become the interim heavyweight champion of the world, his next fight is solidified. He will be taking on the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Francis Ngannou, next. That's 100% going to happen. I know there are some people out there that disagree with that fight being made and also disagree with the fact that an interim belt was made in the first place, but we are in this situation now, and while we are in this situation where there is an interim champion and a real champion of a heavyweight division, we must make that fight next, because otherwise the interim belt is just going to be seen as more and more of a joke, and we will slowly descend into a circus. I know the interim belt did not make the most sense in the first place to be made, but we made the best of a bad situation to make sure that we could have a card of UFC 265 with a title on the line. I understand it wasn't the best situation to be in, but we are here now, so let's just make the interim champion versus the real champion and figure out everything else afterwards as well. This is the matchup to be made. We have to get this one done. I'm really looking forward to it, and it seems like Ngannou has come to terms with the fact that Ciryl Gane will be his next defense, and I know Ciryl Gane's going to be easily saying yes to a matchup with Ngannou. He has everything to gain here, and plus, he's going to be getting some pay-per-view points as well for that championship bout now that he has an interim belt, just like McGregor did against Aldo after beating Chad Mendes. I really am looking forward to this matchup, and also, it needs to be said, Ciryl Gane didn't just beat Derek Lewis. Like, Ciryl Gane, before the Derek Lewis fight, although Volkov is clearly better than Derek Lewis, Lewis had a win over Volkov, and Ciryl Gane went 5 competitive rounds with Alexander Volkov, and did well and won the vast majority of them. I think maybe he lost one of the rounds, another round was pretty close, but it could edge the way of Ciryl Gane, and then the other 3 rounds were clearly Ciryl Gane. I feel like Ciryl Gane has been improving so rapidly recently, and I'm only talking about a Ciryl Gane that existed 6 weeks ago against Alexander Volkov compared to the Ciryl Gane that existed 2 days ago against Derek Lewis. I mean, he has been absolutely one of the most active guys on the roster, and it is paying off for him because he has so little time in the game. He is making such rapid improvements every single time he goes out there, and he's been there, done that now. He's fought for the belt in Houston, in Derek Lewis's hometown. I don't think the moment's going to get the better of Ciryl Gane here against Derek Lewis, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Great matchup. After the matchup with Derek Lewis, some odds came out, and they had Ciryl Gane as a favourite against Francis Ngannou, and let's just say on social media, this ruffled a couple of feathers, you know what I'm saying, and they were a couple of Ngannou fans' feathers, and I understand, Ngannou is the champion, and Ciryl Gane is the up-and-comer, and usually that would mean that the champion should be the favourite in the fight, okay? There was a lot of talk about this when Ngannou was the up-and-comer and Stipe Miocic was the champion the first time, and he was the underdog. I mean, Stipe was even the underdog in a rematch. That turned out to be the correct odds line anyway. I feel like Ciryl Gane deserves to be the favourite against Ngannou, and I think he's going to win, in all honesty. I really do. I don't see Ngannou winning this one. I know he's got power in his hands, and I know he could land that one punch, but what I'm seeing from Ciryl Gane is just a different kind of guy at heavyweight. He is that type of guy, in all honesty. He's going to become the heavyweight champion, in my opinion, against Francis Ngannou. I can't unsee what I'm seeing with Ciryl Gane. The footwork that he is using in the heavyweight division. No one bounces around like that. Not anyone. People in the welterweight division don't bounce around like that and that good and have that good of footwork. Ciryl Gane is just a genius out there, in my opinion, and I think he's going to very easily be able to stay out of range of Francis Ngannou when he wants to until the later rounds and start taking over past round 3 and secure himself those last 3 rounds against Francis Ngannou. What we're seeing from Ciryl Gane not only is a very technical striker, but it is a guy who doesn't care about being seen as boring for a bit. Against Derek Lewis, that was not an entertaining fight in the first 2 rounds by any means. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting to watch Ciryl Gane go out there, not get touched hardly anything at all from Derek Lewis. Like, nothing touched Ciryl Gane from Derek Lewis in that fight other than a couple of shots, one to the body I think it was, but barely any big shots to the head were landed by Derek Lewis in that matchup. And Ciryl Gane was being booed. There was some inactivity in the fight where he's staying at range and just moving around and not doing too much of anything, and he didn't care. He didn't care at all. He just stayed at range, kept throwing his little tap-in shots, Jab to the face, front kick to the stomach, teep to the stomach, oblique kick, leg kick from the outside, nice and light, nice and playful, not even trying to debilitate your leg at this point. Just finding my range in the first 2 rounds of this fight. I like the attitude and the fight IQ from Ciryl Gane, and I think he's the perfect matchup to beat Francis Ngannou. And if Derek Lewis would have KO'd Gane in the 4th round after surviving the 3rd, let's say, and did what Derek Lewis would have done in another universe where Derek Lewis lands that one fluky blow, I would not be picking Derek Lewis to beat Francis Ngannou. I think Derek Lewis is far too stationary, and he's not faster than Ngannou, and I think Ngannou would just go out there, blitz forward, and just beat Derek Lewis to the punch and KO him immediately into the 1st round about 2 minutes in. That's honestly my prediction for Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou. Win or lose against Ciryl Gane in Houston. I think Ciryl Gane's the perfect guy. I watched the Stipe Miocic rematch with Ngannou again. That fight was very close to being in a situation where Miocic could start to do some really good work. In the 1st round, Ngannou stuffed the takedown, don't get me wrong, landed some good shots. I believe he even dropped Miocic at one point as well. In the 2nd round, he dropped Miocic at the start of the 2nd round, then finished him off towards the end of the 2nd round. I think if that would have gone into the 3rd round and Miocic didn't rush in after landing that big punch on Ngannou in the 2nd round, we could have been looking at a very, very interesting turn of events in that fight, because again, I know Ngannou is a little bit more reserved now. He's not blitzing forward and throwing 20 punches around and trying to take his guy's head off every single second of the time. But he's still Ngannou, and he's not going to be able to hold that pace and that power for too long in a fight. And I think Ciryl Gane, if Stipe Miocic, with his footwork where he kind of plods around and just kind of walks and shimmies away very lightly from his opponents, he's not the fastest guy in the world, he doesn't bounce around the way Ciryl Gane does, he doesn't throw shots from range like Ciryl Gane does either. I mean, he's a bit of a shorter guy, little bit of shorter arms, doesn't really use range as well as Ciryl Gane does. In fact, Stipe Miocic's punches, in all honesty, are the best that they are whenever he's in close range. Saw that against Andrei Arlovski not too long ago, against Fabricio Verdum as well. They're real tight, close shots. You'll rarely ever see Stipe Miocic overextending all the way with a right hand to land on his opponent, or catching someone at the very end of a jab or anything like that. Stipe Miocic is the kind of guy to go to the lead liver hook. You know what I'm saying? He'll go to the hooks on the inside. He'll throw uppercuts and dirty box on the inside, then shoot for a takedown. I think Ciryl Gane is so much better at staying at range than Stipe Miocic. If Miocic can survive till the end of the 2nd round, I think Gane can, but whilst tapping up Ngannou's leg. Whilst jabbing Ngannou now and again in the face, right in the eye, and making it swell up like he did against Derek Lewis. Whilst moving around way more than Stipe Miocic, while being younger than Stipe Miocic, while being faster than Stipe Miocic, lighter than Stipe Miocic, better on the feet technically than Stipe Miocic, I would argue as well, with way less damage than Stipe Miocic in his career. I think Ciryl Gane's got this one in the bag. I think it's going to be a very competitive first 2 rounds. Ngannou's going to land some shots. I think Ngannou's probably going to go out there and look for some heavy calf kicks as soon as the fight starts. I think he's going to miss some of them because Ciryl Gane does not accept people chewing up his legs. He will shimmy out the way of that, tuck his leg back, go right back into position, floating around back and forth, moving side to side. He's so difficult to nail down and really get onto in the heavyweight division, and that's what Ngannou has to do to his opponents. I don't see Ciryl Gane overextending and being caught by Ngannou. I don't see Ciryl Gane being walked down, cornered off in the cage, and just blitzed against the cage and get caught in the corner against Ngannou. I think he's going to move around, dance around for the first 2 rounds, win the last 3, and earn himself a very, very safe decision win that won't be the most appealing in any way whatsoever against Francis Ngannou. And I know that people don't want Ciryl Gane as champion. They want the big scary guy with all the muscle mass and all the fast twitch power to go out there and take someone's head off in the 1st round. I think Ciryl Gane's going to be the champ, and I think the GOAT of the heavyweight division in a couple of years' time, whether you like it or not. Look how long he has been in the fucking game. People aren't taking this into consideration. And Ngannou's really good, and he has improved. He really has improved. I just don't think it's enough. Okay? And if anything, Ngannou's now holding back a bit on his power because he doesn't want to go out there and overexert himself and lose after the 1st round because he's used all of his power trying to get his opponent out of there. I think he's more relying on counter shots, trying to be a little bit more technical, whereas I kind of really want, if I was an Ngannou fan, I would want Ngannou to go out there against Ciryl Gane and do the Rosenstrike strategy. Just try and blitz in like a toddler, swinging like a retard, and hopefully you catch Ciryl Gane. I don't see that happening here. Gane is just way too good. I can see him oblique kicking Ngannou, making him frustrated, teeping him to the body a couple of times. Whenever they close distance and getting close, I can see Gane getting over-unders, which is what he does every single time, going for some knees in the clinch. I don't see Ngannou winning this one, but Ngannou's very good. And I've picked Ngannou in every fight of his career, other than the fight against Stipe Miocic twice. One of them I was correct, the other time I was brutally wrong. I understand. I like Ngannou. I've picked him a lot. People said he was going to lose to Velasquez. He's done. I picked him. People said he was going to lose to Curtis Blades. He's done. I picked him to KO Curtis Blades. People said he was going to lose to JDS. No one said that, actually, but I picked him to win anyway against JDS, and he went out there and got a KO win. I really like Francis Ngannou, but I don't see him going out there and landing those punches on Ciryl Gane, and I don't see Ciryl Gane overextending, looking for a finish against Ngannou, and getting countered and put on his ass. I see Ciryl Gane dancing around like a magician, like he always does, and beating Ngannou by decision in a very unappealing fashion, and I really see that happening. All of the stats are in the favour of Ciryl Gane. Ngannou has a reach advantage, don't get me wrong, which is pretty good for Ngannou, to be honest with you. He does have a very long reach for the heavyweight division, 83-inch reach, 3 inches over Ciryl Gane, or 2 inches over Ciryl Gane. Ciryl Gane has the longest reach of anyone who's ever fought Francis Ngannou. I believe 81 inches is 1 inch over the maximum. I think Stipe had an 80-inch reach. JDS was like a 77-inch reach. I know that, Cain Velasquez definitely don't have a fucking 80-inch reach or above, and if he does, that's fucking ridiculous for his height, in all honesty. Ciryl Gane, 81-inch reach, longest reach against anyone who's fought Ngannou before. It just smells a little bit bad for Ngannou, in my opinion, and Ngannou's good. Striking accuracy, 41%, Ciryl Gane, 57%. Strikes per minute, Gane's got Ngannou beat as well there. Like, even though people call Gane boring, he's throwing more strikes than all of these heavyweights, but people are just so used to every punch from a heavyweight, like, being able to KO their opponent. Gane doesn't play it that way, man. He just racks up the points, does a little bit of damage. He doesn't even go full force in the first round. He literally goes out there in the first round, slows his kicks down. No, it doesn't slow his kicks down, takes power off of his kicks to make them faster, but have no impact whatsoever, so they're safer to throw, but they're still going to do a little bit of damage, and he's just finding his range. Then once his opponent has slowed down because of the teeps to the body, because of the leg kicks, in the second round he'll start chopping the legs real hard towards the end of the second round. The third round comes around, he's chopping those legs even harder. I think he's going to get the better of Ngannou and be much better than Stipe at keeping range, landing shots at a distance, and if he can get to the third round, I think Ngannou's done. But it's a close fight, and I will say this as well. I've already got a bunch of dislikes of Ngannou fans saying that I'm cheap. I've just been bought out by recency bias. You're only saying that because Gane just won 2 in a row. That is a factor. Gane has been way more active and started MMA in 2018 August. Ngannou started MMA, and people say that Ngannou was a fast learner and it's crazy how quickly he did things. Ngannou started MMA in 2013. He's had 5 extra years, and then a little bit less than that, just under 5 years of experience over Ciryl Gane, and Gane looks the way he does. I know he has a kickboxing background, but man, the improvements that Gane is going to make over these next 4 months, and also the hunger that he's going to have, he's not filming Fast and Furious films. He's not having another parade in Cameroon. He's not going backstage to other people's fight cards like Adesanya and Usman just because their country is close to yours. He's out there training all the time and hungry to get better because he doesn't get paid big bucks yet. He doesn't have the fame that Ngannou had coming up, so he doesn't have any other distractions. People aren't begging him for interviews non-stop 24/7. People aren't asking for him to be in their films. He's going to go home, have his kid. Well, his wife's going to have his kid, I hope. It was 2021. What the fuck? Who knows anyway? He's going to have his kid, his wife is, and he's going to get right back to work. He said he can be back in there by December, and I'd like him to be back in there by December as well. But I'm going with Ciryl Gane here. I truly believe he gets it done. We'll see how it goes. 31 years of age. He has an 83-inch reach. They have the same reach. That's 2 inches less confident than I am in Francis Ngannou. Holy shit. He has the same reach as Ngannou. Ngannou's had an advantage over everyone. This just reeks of Adesanya Blachowicz, but like differently, in different ways. I really like Ciryl Gane here. I'm sorry. I'm picking him. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Click that button up there. Toodle pip. I'll see you later. Goodbye.